welcome to LUTV's coverage this evening of Leeds United's encounter against Crystal Palace. It is a home encounter for Scott Gardner's side as they look to build on 2 positive draws to start the campaign. Teams for Leeds United first, it is Rory Mahady, Alfie Cresswell, Connor Ferguson, Diogo Monteiro, Jeremiah Mullen, Chris Moore, Sam Chambers and Kieran Coleman, Max McFadden, Dan Toulson, and then Reece Chadwick. As for Leeds United, Alex Baird, Harvey Vincent, bench, Ruben Lopata-White, Oliver Pickles and Jacob Render, as the 2 teams just prepare their final preparations ahead of kick-off tonight. As for Crystal Palace, they go with Louis Moulden, Caleb Kporha, Jake Grante, Caden Rodney, Joe Sheridan, Umeh, Jemide, Franco Umeh, Justin Devenny, Zach Marsh, Hindolo Mustapha and Asher Agbinone. The bench for Palace is Austin, Nascimento, Umolu, Cardines and Gibbard. As for Crystal Palace, they've won their first game and it was a hammering of Blackburn, 7-2. Jemide Umolu scored a brace that day, but settles for a place on the bench tonight. Myself, Tom Hunter, Ben Parker, bringing you all the action in what is hopefully going to be a positive night for Leeds United. An unbeaten start, Ben, but this is a Crystal Palace team that, academy-wise, we're very proud of our academy here at Leeds. Crystal Palace, likewise, a very big result for them last time out when Leeds were in a transition period, losing 7-1 last season. Palace, big, powerful, strong team pretty much every single season, so we know we've got a real test on our hands tonight. Good evening to you.
Yeah, and good evening to you, Tom, and good evening to everyone tuning in here on a Friday night, a lovely Friday night, shall we say. Tom, the sun is shining, perfect conditions for a game, and yeah, it has been a positive start. 2 draws from our campaign from the first 2 games. A lot of positives from Scott Gardner and the players to take into tonight, but have to agree with you, it is going to be a big test tonight against this Crystal Palace outfit who have got goals in them. They're solid. Historically, they do produce good players throughout the academy. But these are the types of tests these young players out for us tonight want to test themselves against the good players and good outfit up and down the country.
Yeah, fingers crossed for Scott Gardner's side. We wait to see just how they will line up. We believe it's a 3-4-3 tonight for Leeds, with a change in formation. It's not often we get that, normally a 4-2-3-1, but certainly we saw the team sheet come out tonight. That couldn't be first expected. Of course, we always do say with this 21s group how utility players are so successful in the academy, and we'll see if that's the case tonight. Palace straight away bursting onto the scene, getting the ball back to try and ensure they've made a fast start, and they've done that here, keeping possession, just ticking over nicely, the Eagles, and now in possession they go, nice and steady away with Jemide as Palace come forward. So only 1 game for them. Doesn't look like it though here. Nice and sharp as Chris Moore's touch takes him the wrong way. Leeds under pressure right from the off. Shot comes in. Mullen gets his leg in the way. Scrappy defending was just what the doctor ordered for Leeds as Chambers flies in as well. And Palace were given a free kick for that challenge by Chambers, who just has to look down. It's a bit of a sore one for him. Thankfully, no need for him to go to grab, but a free kick opportunity in a very good spot for Crystal Palace, Ben, within about a minute of kick-off. Yeah, and straight from the kick-off, Crystal Palace just kept the ball really neat and tidily. Moved it at a good tempo, trying to just draw us out of position. As you said, it looks like we are going to be setting up with that back 3, so a relatively new formation and system for our players to adapt to. But early stages, you want to stay compact, you want to stay solid. We've got to keep this free kick out. Referee gets his marker. Palace setting themselves with left-footed floating cross, real up and under, header back across, set-piece routine. And Rory Mahady, I think that his face has made a block there. They've got the corner. It was the ball in from Justin Devenny and a shot from Zach Marsh that has nearly given Crystal Palace the lead, but thanks to the very quick, sharp reactions of our goalkeeper, Rory Mahady, it is still 0-0.
What Mahady did really well there, 2 things. He stayed on his feet, managed to move him quickly along the goal line, but then just stayed big as well, just to be able to block that shot because it was goal bound.
This time a bit more power on the cross, but they fancy that one-on-one with Toulson at the back stick and the effort going in. Crystal Palace right from the outset try to put Leeds under pressure, and I said it right at the start how the games we've had against Crystal Palace over the years are such physical battles. And I don't think this one is going to be going off script.
I think we're just happy for a little breather, to be honest. We've not touched the ball at all in terms of any passing build-up plays. So, yeah, it's important. Sometimes you have to dig out a little spell. Understand Crystal Palace full of confidence, as you said, from their opening win of the campaign. So, no surprise they've started this game relatively well.
Needs his chance to get a foot on the ball as Monteiro comes into midfield. Looper towards McFadden, bounces away from him, but Chadwick collects. He's normally a number 10, so new role for him out there today. No doubt he'll look to cut in if possible. But Leeds, in this new formation, just trying to bed in. They've been beaten for pace as Ferguson flies up, ball into the box. Opportunity for Marsh to have a shot at goal. A whisker away from scoring. And that's 2 efforts he's had now. Mahady made the first effort. The second is just out of his reach. And it's really just for Palace. They've got a nice groove about them, Ben. But Leeds, it's the fine margins, you know. Ferguson just trying to get there first, but once he didn't, there was a big gap. And as an ex-defender yourself, you know, how hard is it to try and judge that? Because if you make it, great, you're on the attack. But unfortunately, on that occasion, we did not. Yeah,
of course, you want to be on the front foot, and Scott Garner works ever so hard, especially with his defenders in the group, to try and close that gap. As soon as the pass is travelling, can you be there to intercept?
Yeah, Mullen, misplaced pass. Again, Palace come on the front foot. The effort from range, that's what Leeds will be pretty happy with at this stage. Considering the balls into the box, that was a bit more ambitious from distance, and it will give Leeds yet another slight breather that they will need here inside the early stages, with Mahady looking and asking for a new ball at the LNER Community Stadium. Chris Moore has gone across to collect. Goes early with the pass out wide. Over hits it, and Leeds just guilty of being caught in the headlights a little bit here by Palace. And thankfully for us that there's no goal to be punished by them. Big roles to play for that front three as well, because any Palace defender that gets into a rhythm will then look to join the attack. But Leeds are working in numbers, certainly in groups, because Chadwick at first was near side, now he's back making runs across the park. So on the team sheet down as 2 wide players, but almost 2 number 10s. Reality is Chambers and Chadwick, as Moore gets goal side rather calmly, gets it across to Cresswell, and Chris Moore showing that experience that he brings to this team as the 21s defender. But there, Ben, and it's a very strong start for our visitors, but in fairness, this is again, we said it right at the start of the season in our first game, this young group is going to be on the wrong end of some results this year, but they've already been in this situation, they've learned for 12 months, so arguably in a better overall, you know, experience. They know to be under pressure, they know how to be under the pump, and I think as the game goes on, they'll start to feel they might be able to work themselves into this, but there is no panic just yet.
No, all in. That was just a good example of having a back three, because Crystal Palace want to turn it going behind into the channels with a long pass. We've got extra body back there, and Chris Moore using his experience, good starting position, cleared the danger. We've done to flip it forward into these kind of front areas. It's important we don't leave the front three isolated, because they're all technically very good. They want to get into the pocket of spaces. It's important we get that service into them and get the bodies around just to create that overload and create the numbers.
Straight into the Palace number 9, and Zach Marsh is causing problems up there. Good work for Leeds, and very good from Monteiro. Kicks it backwards off the defender, and Leeds will get a rather grateful goal kick. Beautiful evening in York, which surface looking in good condition. It's prime for some football played on the deck, and Leeds, if they get the opportunity to get hold of the ball, will certainly look to do that. Mahady, as per usual, tries to lure them in. It's a pass forward though, but he's mishit it. He was looking for Coleman, just trying to roll it into his path. Coleman bailed him out. Nearly fouled as he does so. That's a better ball into the middle of the park, and this time McFadden gets away. He nearly had his ankle tripped. Options few and far between and not looking too expansive. Now Cresswell's in a better position. That's brilliant for McFadden. Into Chambers, across the face of goal, nearly picks out Chadwick, and the goalkeeper just about gets it before it crossed the line. And there is Leeds United's counter-attacking burst. And I know the ball in was good from Chambers, and Cresswell made a great supporting run, but the decision-making from Max McFadden, Ben, made all that, as well as fair play to him, Keane Coleman down the other end of the pitch.
That was some move, really was. For a split second, we were nearly in trouble at one end, but then Keane Coleman was ever so well to win it back. And then it was all about Max McFadden. Unbelievable run, great balance as well. Nearly an end product to finish off.
Palace bursting forward. Agbinone looking for a route to goal, all the way across it. Mahady tried to cover his far post. The touch was big enough for the referee to spot, and it will be another corner. And it does just feel like every time Palace get the ball, there is a chance. But at least that'll be a big shot in the arm for Scott Gardner's side, that attack they've just produced. Really big. And they know they can get to out wide, and certain players are learning their trade as well. Cresswell as a right back is a new situation for him this season. Palace had a first and the second time around. There's a Leeds player on the ground in Chadwick, goal kick given. But again, adding to that pre-match narrative we expected, Ben. Crystal Palace's team, we saw it with Stoke week 1, very physical. Palace have always had a strong and physical team, and they've started that game in the exact same vein as well. As they come forward, Agbinone goes for it, well-timed challenge from Chris Moore, but backs against the wall at times defending, but the challenge has been met pretty vigorously. It's a decent watch so far. Yeah, we're standing up to the challenge. I would say don't give them any more encouragement, Crystal Palace, because a handful of times now we're trying to play out and sloppy passes. Crystal Palace getting the ball back in their final third. We're inviting that pressure, but as you're saying, we're digging in so far. Agbinone's cross into Marsh, heavy touch, allows Monteiro to hook it clear. Fall into midfield. Palace, despite being outnumbered, ball fell in their favour. Good header from Mullen because Marsh was about to pounce. Toulson out there, now he's the closest player to the ball. The Palace player slips at a very pivotal moment. And now out to Chadwick. Chadwick tries his best running out of wriggle room. And unfortunately for Leeds, it is dispossessed right near the touchline. Good work from Ferguson. What he tried to do in the first few minutes, this time it works. But just as I say that, Leeds then concede possession once more. Inside the 11th minute with the pass into the feet of Devenny, who's had lots of the ball tonight in the Crystal Palace number 8 jersey, as has this man, Asher Agbinone, and he is forced wide by Chris Moore, who's done very well, and a real positive, because it can feel quite negative if you're just defending all the time, Ben, but you can also pick out the individual displays. Chris Moore has certainly stood up and counted so far. Yeah, the first 11 minutes he's showing all his experience, all his quality as well, defending 1v1, positional play. We're going to need plenty more of that from the likes of Chris Moore and the other guys at the back tonight, because as we've seen in the opening stages, Crystal Palace, they've got the power, they've got the pace out wide, they're trying to drop into those pocket of spaces. Spoke about our forward players looking to do that. Crystal Palace are trying to emulate the same thing, so it's a good tactical battle. Yeah, it's a good tactical battle indeed. There wasn't much tactically about the lunging challenge from Franco Umeh on the right boot of Alfie Cresswell, who has to do that awkward thing as a player when you know you're about to get crunched, and you have to take it because you play a team sport, and that's the last thing you've got to do, to get your team a good free kick. And he did get them field position, which leads a force back that line of Palace players, just making Leeds second guess themselves. That's a good ball from Mahady into Mullen. Mullen tries to go cross field, doesn't get his bearings right. Now it'll fall to Chadwick. Toulson takes control out to Ferguson. Nice weighted pass from him and Chadwick. Beautiful 1-2 into McFadden. Leeds just showing glimpses of what they can do in possession. Coleman
just puts too much on it. Chris Moore will have to really work hard, and Coleman's frustrated. We're seeing flashes, Ben, and sometimes that's all you can have to get a bit of encouragement.
Yeah, and that's all you want sometimes as a team when the opposition have started ever so well. You just want them little glimpses or little moments to build the confidence. We've shown 2 or 3 times a little build-up play, little give and goes. Worked really well.
Palace when they're throwing high up the pitch at the LNER Community Stadium. Devenny into Marsh, important touch from Coleman, but it still reaches its target. Cresswell beaten, Monteiro was coming out of defence, Marsh very carefully nudged him out of the way. It was experienced striker play that from the number 9. As Coleman flies in with a challenge, but he's had his pocket picked. There's a free kick coming, doesn't look to be much in that, but when it works in our favour we'll certainly take it. But it's impressive to see Palace playing like this, because this is the level you want to reach when you're a young player. You know, there's some more experienced heads in Crystal Palace's group, Ben, and sometimes you have to learn by getting beat by them, by losing out of a challenge, because 5 or 10 minutes later you'll get a second chance.
Yeah, it is all about a learning curve, because I've been there plenty of times in the old reserve days against opposition we're far strong, but it's a strong run forward here.
It certainly is. To Ferguson, Chadwick goes and follows him to try and help him out. Ferguson hangs the ball up towards McFadden. Chambers coming into the area, will have a strike to goal. Good save down to his left hand side from Louis Moulden. There was some power behind that from Sam Chambers, who of course scored in pre-season. How ball appeals as it nestled into his path, and then he hits it with some real venom. Maybe if you're picky you say go across the goal, but there's a lot of times you try and catch the keeper out and it works.
Yeah, and what was really promising, getting the numbers into the box, getting support for the cross. I think Chambers was second favourite to get to the ball. He wasn't. Good effort.
Chadwick's delivery, near post header from Palace. Second on the edge of the box, forces Leeds backwards, and Chambers has to go into emergency mode and just smash it backwards to a teammate in Ferguson. Chadwick was looking for Toulson, well read by Palace, who are away down the right hand side with Mustapha. He's bursting forward looking for Marsh. Monteiro, the one that's gone across the cover. The defender keeps it alive. Mahady drills it off the feet. It works. And you're running out of space there, Diogo Monteiro. There's a lot of trust in each other. And we say it every time we cover Rory Mahady. He's box office. That pass early, which he misplaced, he'll be frustrated about more than anybody. But a couple of important decisions. Communication was important there, Ben, because it didn't look, even though it looked pretty scary for us watching, they looked quite calm about the entire situation. 15 and a half gone.
Yeah, I think you summed it up perfectly. It worked. We got the ball back. The boys knew what they were doing. But on that transition from our corner, the counter-attack was on for Crystal Palace, but the white shirts were flooding back. Great to see.
Yeah, McFadden's dropping in as deep as where number 6 or an 8 could be. Same can be said for Toulson, who on the team sheet is essentially one of the centre midfielders. I do wonder if that's what Leeds are hoping to do here, catch out Palace, because you've got receivers for the ball as part of a back four in Coleman and Toulson, but now this is where there's a gap now in midfield and Leeds are spread apart. Paul passes at least help Leeds out as Agbinone goes to collect. Chambers carries, good bit of work defensively from Devenny, who's been one of the eye-catching players for Crystal Palace. 17 gone. Entertaining game. Only the third of the season. 2 draws for Leeds, as we mentioned, 1 apiece. Look at Thomas getting both goals. And if you missed it from the start, Crystal Palace thumped Blackburn 7-2 in their game. Mullen back to Mahady, who doesn't have that many options in the middle. So back out towards Mullen once more. Here's Toulson. He and Ferguson both left-footed, so more than happy to receive it out there. This player caught late is Monteiro, and just try to assess it there, but looking at a throw-in, because I said it again, you know, Coleman is considered the head centre mid, so is Toulson. Just when we got that free kick there, Chris Moore was at centre back, so was Mullen. Coleman was at right back, Dan Toulson wasn't at centre. There's a lot of fluidity to this, which is perhaps explaining why Palace have maybe had a bit of joy. Leeds are working on it, and clearly they feel there is a reason for their success, because McFadden hasn't stayed stood, you know, he's not stood still at 9. Same for Chadwick and Chambers. So we are trying things out there tonight with this new formation. It's safe to say. It's cutscene. Yeah, it's a bit of a change, because normally we have the same structure.
Yeah, and all I would say about that point is very well made, and it's important in possession that we keep the ball, we don't give it away very cheaply, because if players are going to be moving out of their natural kind of position just to try and create a little overload in certain situations, again something that had been worked on at the training ground, it's important you don't give the ball away when that happens, because then you're leaving a lot of space for Crystal Palace to exploit. And as we've seen so far in the first 19 minutes, they've got a lot of quality in the final third.
Palace misplaced pass, which is not been the norm inside 20 minutes, so Leeds buoyed by that. You can see Alfie Cresswell just giving his teammates a clap, and these little instances where you can get a bit of a confidence boost when you force a mistake. Ferguson is told to halt proceedings, which suggests, yeah, as I say, I think there'll have to be somebody down injured, and Mullen, he's now on the deck and he's asking for some treatment. So a pause in proceedings. Looking at the bench, Vincent, Lopata-White, Pickles and Render. It is Lopata-White that is naturally the one that will be told to warm up a bit more vigorously. And as you can see in there in the pink bib, just reapplying the old laces. And now this is where we get a tactical update for the players, explain things. A manager, his coaching staff, inside 20 minutes, Ben, how difficult is it as a player where you are trying something new, you are up against it, you're under the pump, to remember those tactical things, and how important are these very small team meetings to help you get back on track?
No, they are. It's just reiterating the messages that had been said throughout the week building up to this game, and the kind of encouragement fact that it's still 0-0. We're firmly involved in the game. We've had to defend at times, but guess what? We've shown us quality going forward on a handful of occasions as well. It's been a good watch. Yeah, of course, we want to score plenty of goals. That's what we're here for, Thomas. But sometimes this is part of your learning development, where you're having to learn and develop and come up with different tactics against different opposition and suss out the game plan as you're out on the pitch yourself.
Yeah, just looking at Lopata-White, he was pretty confident that he was going to come onto the pitch there. That isn't the case, or not for now anyway. Mullen's clearly explained that he wants to carry on. Mullen, though, hasn't been given the go-ahead to get back on the pitch as Palace steam forward. Chambers has got to be careful as the ball is cut back in. Toulson there with the nifty footwork. Now, a bit more robust from Cresswell, but only played it into a Palace man who's gone for goal, cleared off the line by Cresswell, made up for the misplaced clearance. And Leeds were just a little bit out of sync there, and explains it. You're a defender down, quickly taken free kick, and then all of a sudden you're back in possession in attack, as here comes Devenny into Marsh. That is a combination that Leeds will have to be mindful of. Monteiro, a foul on Chadwick, and a free kick will go Leeds' way. And it's often the way in football, Ben, when you're up against it, just feel like there's more yellow shirts out there, but that's because I've seen that many yellow shirts this summer that I just see yellow and white everywhere. But fair play to Palace. Their reading of the game, all joking aside, has been spot on.
No, it has, but again, the defensive capabilities, helping your teammate out. If someone makes a mistake, it's not to get frustrated, it's can I get in a good position to bail out that mistake, bail out my friend, my teammate. We've done that so well. I think full credit down to Scott Gardner so far and the coaching setup in terms of putting a back three together, knowing that Crystal Palace like to play, because there'll be certain occasions tonight when if we had a back four, as soon as you get into that channel, there's like less defender, as we've got showing tonight, and then it's just even more difficult trying to shuffle over at speed.
Down the line to Ferguson, who has had a bit of joy. Here's Chadwick, Chambers behind him. Chadwick still going, now Chambers picks out the angle and can make his way towards goal. Cresswell looks towards the frame of the goal and it takes a deflection on its way. Moulden applauds the defence, and Alfie Cresswell didn't have a defender's moment of panic. He took that in his stride, one touch out of his feet, wins his team a set piece.
Yeah, again, just shows you if we get the passing right coming out from the back, play at the right tempo, make the right option in possession, can get beyond the high press of Crystal Palace, and then we've got the players in the final third of the pitch to go and hurt you with their quality.
Yeah, Chadwick delivers the set piece, tiny bit more loft on this one, but still easily read for Palace, and it is Chambers now that's got to do the hard, horrible yards, and he does that and then some. That is really good work from the midfielder without conceding a free kick. And the momentum shifts back in Leeds' path as Chadwick goes down the line. Well-weighted pass into Cresswell. There's an option inside for McFadden. Cresswell looks across. The defender cuts it out. Still, Cresswell picks up the pieces. Back to Chambers. Onto his stronger right foot. Looking for a way for goal. Deflected. And that's Leeds United at their very best. And just what you want to see in a midfielder wearing the Leeds colours. Chambers putting his body on the line. Cresswell, Chadwick. That ball from Chadwick, Ben. If it's overhit, Palace have got a simple goal kick out from the back. Instead, we nearly opened the scoring.
Yeah, and that's what being a Leeds United player in a nutshell is all about, in terms of the great running back, tracking back, the tackle from Chambers, and then we're just not content with that. We want to go forward, we want to create, we want to score. Fantastic play.
Chadwick again, much more loft this time, though nobody for Leeds expected it. Leeds claiming there was a touch there. Mullen looks to be running free without injury after going down earlier. But over halfway through this first half without conceding. And while that is progress after that first 15 minutes under the cosh, Leeds will know just how good this Palace team is after that 7-1 defeat last season. On the scoreline on that occasion, Devenny got 2, who's still in that team today, wearing number 8. As a player, Ben, when you're an academy footballer, games against some teams don't come up very often. With this new structure we've got, you don't play everybody home and away. And I've got a funny feeling there's some players that are in that team today that have got that game in their minds, because they want to put on a lot more of a respectable showing. A little bit like that with Coleman. He's unlucky with the pass, but again, it's that determination to get there that at least shows passion.
Yeah, and the one thing that we have done throughout the first 25, 26 minutes tonight is being on the front foot. Whether it's defensively, we're trying to intercept a pass. Yeah, sometimes we've not made it, but the intent's there. And again, in that forward part of our kind of press, we're still trying to do the right things.
Palace defence given time to make their latest forward pass, and a yellow shirt goes to ground near halfway. Referee lets the game flow. Monteiro back to Mahady, who's directing traffic, and that helps Palace shift across, and that in turn allows Mahady to play it straight back to where it came from. But again, just that physical battle Leeds sometimes losing it when it goes long. I mean, Matt McFadden has got hopefully a successful career at Leeds, but we don't assess him for his strength as a 9, because he's played as a winger or as a 10. And that is where, look at Thomas, despite only being a young man himself, does have that naturally bigger frame, Ben, that if you do need to go long, you might have an out ball. So another challenge tonight for McFadden. And when you look at the size of the centre-backs he's coming up against, you might need a few ice packs out there by the end of this evening. We'll break off because Cresswell's actually got a chance here to get forward. Good first touch, second lets him down. And Cresswell deserved a bit better there for the effort he made, but again, just another small example of how Leeds can get in behind this Palace team.
Yeah, I think the first point is that I wouldn't fancy an aerial challenge against them 2 centre-halves tonight, but good breakaway from Alfie Cresswell. He's found himself in 3-4 occasions, good positions down this right-hand side, allowing him to get further forward with that extra security of actually defender behind him, so he's getting some good positions. Can just see him out of shot, trying to budge forward there as well.
Yeah, Mullen fouled, and I do wonder if the Palace players had just tried to unsettle him after he went to ground earlier with an injury. The one that was trying to get at him was Hindola Mustapha. Here it is Monteiro. Back to Mahady now, nearly half an hour through proceedings. Into Moore, who just about gets it to Coleman. Coleman showed great feet earlier to get out of trouble, and he'll have to do that, I think, for as long as he's on the pitch tonight. Here's Moore back to Mahady. Leeds just taking a breather in possession. To Cresswell, forced wide by his first touch, but he still gets it to to Chadwick. McFadden on the far left, swapping positions with the Leeds number 11. Here's Mullen, Ferguson out wide. Leeds get the throw, much to Palace's disgust. Ferguson right back on his feet quickly into Chadwick. First touch goes astray. He actually wins a corner though. Oh, he doesn't, in fact. That's a big call. Chadwick certainly not impressed, but nice to see Leeds taking the initiative, Ben, rather than, you know, when you are slightly up against it, you sometimes maybe a second guess or you think about things a bit too much. Ferguson, ball in hand, quick throwing, nearly got Chadwick away. Yeah,
it's risk reward building up from the back, because as we've said, we've not got it right every occasion, but at times we have progressed up the pitch, and whether that's a centre half coming out with the ball himself to create another option, or the passing's been a bit more slicker with a bit more tempo to it, we have caused Crystal Palace the problems when we have got it right playing out from these kind of areas.
Coleman's pass deflects away, and it's good work from Monteiro to just shield possession. McFadden again. Palace claimers of nudging the back. Chambers might have to go for a goal early. He will do that. Sadly, he gets his bearings wrong and thrashes it wide, and there's a glaring look over the shoulder of Chambers from Alfie Cresswell, who isn't put off by his last mishap when trying to charge forward, and rightly so. As a, you know, at the end of the day, he's a centre back playing right back, but the support play from him, if Chambers waits a single second, Ben, you'd argue Cresswell's got a better angle.
Yeah, and for Cresswell, all I would say to him is get used to that, mate, because you'll make so many runs like that as a full back or wing back, and these forward players just want to pass to you, Tom. It's not nice.
Is this diaries of a left back?
Diaries.
Confessions. Sounds like it's something you've not still been able to recover from.
Sounds like a job title to my new album, this.
Yes, Cresswell will have to try and adapt that this season as well, because we joked last year about Chris Moore doing it, but he actually became a very dependable right back for the team, and he's going forward again here, and that is that skills he picked up. The centre half is making his way forward. Cresswell, the inside runner, all the way across the far post to Ferguson. Difficult bounce for the left back to get to. And if that doesn't sum up Leeds United Academy, I'm not sure what does. Two centre halves, one at centre forward, one at right midfield, and a left back, the furthest player forward, try to score. Yeah,
I'm just about to say the exact same thing. The centre half crossing the ball, you've got your wing back, full back coming in at the other side, nearly scoring, but as long as this half keeps developing as it is, we're growing into even more and more. The confidence is growing. It's a really good game to watch this tonight.
Yeah, got to enjoy these tactical battles, even though it might not be as pretty for Leeds as it has been in recent years. Chadwick tried to put it on a plate for Coleman, but it was a 50-50 that he sadly did not win, and now Palace have used the big gap that he created. Monteiro, though, with a challenge, looks to be pretty 50-50 that one as well, but the referee suggests not, and suggests that Palace get the free kick. But we've gone from Palace dominating to Leeds just trying to like poke and jab their way out of trouble as if you cornered in a boxing match. Now So there's a nice ebb and flow to this.
Yeah, of course. I don't think that was a foul at all. I thought Monteiro did ever so well. Used his body, used his strength. Referee kind of bought into that free kick, but kind of the danger is always going to be on the transition, because Crystal Palace, with the pace, the power from middle of the park, they can get forward the ball pretty quick. So yeah, it's important when we are trying to build up the attacks, get bodies to join in. But if you do give the ball away cheaply, do have a mindful kind of thought that the counter-attack will be on from any situation. But you have to say, so far so good. The numbers we have got, I think the organisation, people talking to one another to fill into certain situations, it's been good to see. But as we've seen already, Crystal Palace are a threat from these set pieces.
Yeah, Leeds, especially Chadwick, is just watching over the corner of his left shoulder where the number 2 Kporha is moving. Would be quite an awkward pass for Devenny to make, but still, he goes far post instead. Palace win the first header. Mahady thought about coming for it. Mullen couldn't take the chances. Devenny will pick up the pieces. He goes for goal, potential handball. Monteiro swings at it. It'll fall to Marsh. Mahady gets there, and it's over. It's a corner. Well, take your pick. Who's going to moan at this? Because Leeds felt that was handball. Not once, but twice did they have to clear it because of that. And did they maybe switch off a little bit, Ben, because of it? But I think the bounce was very fortunate for Palace to fall back in their favour. We'll get your thoughts in a second once this delivery goes ahead from Crystal Palace. It'll be Devenny once more with the left-footed in-swinger. In fact, he goes short, tries to catch Leeds out, and thankfully he does not. Leeds bursting forward. Played into the path of McFadden. Palace player went very early and committed. Now Chambers is away at the far post. McFadden takes one glaring look across. The goalkeeper, though, is more than a match that. And again, this enjoyable 50-50 tussle continues.
That was fantastic. We've read the short corner. It's like you, Tom. I expected the delivery to go straight into the box. I've had a bit of joy from that so far from the set pieces of Crystal Palace, but we're alert, we're alive. Again, we're just not settling just to win the ball. We're trying to drive forward again. Great break from McFadden down the left-hand side. You can see what he was trying to do, find Chambers in the box, but fair play to the goalkeeper, he just read it.
Yeah, tough as well for McFadden. It's not as if he could do anything fancy, is it? You know, you can't hang it in the air, you can't go low. At the end of the day, the keeper just read the situation. And you've got to praise all involved. And with 10 minutes left of this first half, this is a real fight for the first goal. Slight nudge there from Chambers. Then he just about puts his foot in the way, and it will be a very soft yellow card. Scott Gardner, he's trying to demonstrate his disapproval for it. Still don't think large sections of the game, the more experienced pros are happy with these new rules. Ben Parker is the main man I'm talking about because he's shaking his head here.
Common sense and referees, one day I think they might just like go together, but I've yet to see it, Tom, and that's just a perfect example. Like, why is that a yellow card? It can't be.
Another free kick here. Palace player claiming he was caught late in the challenge. Slow to get to the feet. It was Toulson. That made the challenge on the Crystal Palace man. And the man down was Agbinone, who was complaining. He's been Palace's best player in the first 10 minutes, but thankfully he's gone a little quiet. Here's Ferguson. Goes for the no-nonsense clearance out for a throw. Devenny further wide to Agbinone. Coleman stands his ground, reads it very well. just so busy, Cian Coleman. There's a late challenge, the Palace player. A pretty theatrical fall, suggesting either there was a late lunge or he's used the power coming in to win the free kick. I mean, Coleman is adamant he's barely touched him, but it's quite a big fall that for the Palace man. Another free kick in a good area for Palace to test this Leeds defence. Devenny to the far post. Palace meet it. What a save, Mahady. Didn't see it till late, just threw himself across his goal. And for now, he's kept Leeds level pegging with Crystal Palace, with Toulson getting across. And a few of Rory Mahady's defence need to go across and thank him, because without that, Palace are leading.
Yeah, and that's what made it such a good save, Tom, because he didn't see it till very late, did Mahady, and it's low down to his right-hand side. Unsure whether it's arm or a leg, but either way, he's kept it out, and it was a very, very good save.
Monteiro gets a glancing head on that. It'll be another corner. Taking it is Caden. The number 4 shirts, Caden Rodney. Power on it. Mahady again. Commanding presence in his goal. Shots coming in from range. And thankfully, nowhere near Mahady's goal. And it is still 0-0. And first bit of pressure for a while, Ben, that they've applied. And Leeds stand up to every blow and come back firing defensively.
Yeah, and the good positive aspect of our kind of team play so far tonight is that when called upon, every player's put a shift in when needed to be, whether it's Mahady making a save, whether it's a defensive block, whether it's good build-up play, a little link-up. It was contributed so far in this first 40 minutes. Here's
Ferguson contributing with a long bursting run down the left-hand side. He's got Chadwick behind him, takes a big touch, goes all the way across their face and into the hands of the goalkeeper, who, not for the first time down that left wing, has denied Leeds United. Is that a case, Ben Parker, of too many options? Couldn't decide which was best.
No, it's just the composure. That's what we're lacking. Unbelievable play to get down that left-hand side, and as soon as Conor Ferguson's in full flight, you're not going to catch him. So quick when he gets his legs opened up. But that's the occasion where he gets into them positions. He just needs to slow down, compose himself, take an extra touch if needs be, because he's got the time and space. The options were there, but just rushed the end decision.
Down the line to Chambers. Chambers keeps Palace at bay. Oh, it's nifty footwork from the Leeds number 7. Coleman steps over the ball, and that allows more to come away. Back out to Cresswell. Coleman again with 3 or 4 minutes left of this first half, just going back for safety to Mahady. Command of that Leeds bench: Vincent, Lopata-White, Pickles and Render, as well as Alex Baird. Palace win a throw inside their own half. Double deflection causes problems. It will be Leeds' throw-in. Corner to Leeds. Palace back-to-back deflections not going their way, and sometimes that's all you need, as Monteiro and some of the other defenders have a tactical debrief of what to do here from this set-piece. Delivery so far has been maybe a little favourable for Palace. A bit more pace perhaps levels the playing field. Chadwick goes far post instead, and a header from Moore. Much better delivery from Reece Chadwick, who made a name for himself with those set pieces last season for the run to the FA Youth Cup final. Sadly, Moore got underneath it, but it goes down as a chance, Ben, no doubt about it.
Oh, it definitely is, especially for Chris Moore, because he always backs himself to get a contact, especially attacking the ball from whether it's a corner kick or wide free kick. But great delivery from Chadwick, just enabling Chris Moore, the other white shirts, to try and get something on end of that delivery.
Ferguson wanted to take a throw, perhaps mind games, knowing full well it wasn't his. Just over a minute now for Leeds to make sure it's still goalless, or very worst at half time, as Toulson nips in, releases Chambers, who so naturally is good at running with the ball. He glides past opponents. He's done that here. Chadwick to Cresswell, needs to get a shot away, does. Fouled late there. Late challenge, referee points to the Sports. And Cresswell upended the number 6, MFA Jemide. He's going to plead his innocence, but the heap that he's left Alfie Cresswell in suggests it was a legitimate call. And it's thanks to Chambers' powerful run. He makes it look so effortless, Ben, and what a moment this could be for Leeds United. Yeah,
we started by just intercepting a pass around the middle of the park, and then we've got the numbers, we've got the bodies in the forward areas. Chambers at the heart of things, driving forward with the ball, works its way to Alfie Cresswell, and it's one of those what he had earlier in the first half, early minutes, when he received a pass, no one's going to get whacked, going to get a challenge, but it's led to a fantastic opportunity now.
So we see what happens here. McFadden, right-footed, sends the keeper the wrong way. Convincing, powerful. Luca Thomas, the usual spot taker. Max McFadden fills in with a really convincing spot kick of his own. Leeds United 1, Crystal Palace 0.
Cool, calm. Keeper goes the wrong way. Always in charge of that situation was McFadden. Great penalty. And you have to say, the way we've dug in, the way we've built in towards this first half as 2 minutes stoppage time has been announced, full credit, full maturity from this young side as well, how they've developed and gone about the way in this first 45 minutes.
Yeah, massive credit to the group for hanging in at times, defending with real honour as well. And to take a 1-0 lead into half-time is a big tick in the box of the coaching team, and especially the defence as well. Have worked as a unit. Knowing Crystal Palace, they'll still feel they can get an equaliser before half-time. It might awaken the beast of Palace, but it also might mean there's bigger gaps as Chambers is fouled going the opposite way. And I don't think Leeds will be in any rush to take this free kick. We've seen some brilliant players over the years for Leeds' academy. Some tricksters in Somerville and Gallagher, Greenwood, others. There's something very different about Sam Chambers. It's maybe not as technically on the eye with the skills and the tricks, but the way he carries a ball demands respect of a defender. And the best thing is they just can't get it off him.
Yeah, and he's showing power way beyond his young years as well. A good little subtle thing. I think they've changed positions as well. Yeah. Chambers has found himself out on the left-hand side, leading up to the goal. That's where he was starting from. So, massive kind of well done to Scott Gardner and the coaching staff just to have that little subtle change.
He's brought the best out in some of Chambers' runs, but now they come forward. Good interception from Leeds. Coleman running into traffic. Mullen steps out of defence. Chambers given a ball that's a bit risky. He wins a free kick. Could argue that's a yellow card. The referee will agree with my suggestion, and a card is coming for Jake Grante for a late lunge. And there is the footwork of Chambers getting in before. And we said it earlier about Cresswell. You know you're about to get hit You've just got to get there first to make sure you get a set piece in your favour. And I think once this is taken, it will be half time. McFadden nearly tricks his way into the Palace box with possession. The Eagles can clear. As the half-time whistle sounds and Conor Ferguson suggesting he was about to go for goal out at left-back. But a 1-0 lead thanks to McFadden's penalty against Crystal Palace. Half-time at the LNER Community Stadium. We had to ride our luck a little bit, Ben. We had to show some passion in defence, but a real positive 45 minutes.
Really was. First half of football, that it's just gone so quick, hasn't it? But it's been filled with tenacious defending, digging in at times, but then we show the quality in the final third, and you have to say we deserved getting a penalty, deserved 1-0 up. We've got to do it all over again.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Half time. Second half coverage coming up in around 15 minutes time. Welcome back then to LUTV's coverage of this encounter between Leeds United under-21s and Crystal Palace. There's a change at the break which has seen Jacob Render enter the fold, and it is McFadden that has come on to replace him. Leeds are leading by 1-0 thanks to a 45th minute penalty from McFadden. So whether that change was planned, we will have to find out. But a very positive first 45, Ben Parker, under pressure for large parts, but really good tactical watch. And Leeds eventually came out on top. But, of course, a big second half to come.
Yeah, it really is a big second half, you're right, Tom, because we've got to do the same things again, and that starts digging in, winning your duels, individual battles. As a team collective, can we build upon what we did so well out of possession, but then do the good things we did in possession as well, because when we got forward, we broke the press from Crystal Palace. Our passing was slick, good tempo to it, got into some dangerous situations, and then that's how we won the penalty in the end. So a lot of things to build upon, but it's going to be a big 45 to come.
Yeah, Mullen has possession, goes back towards Mahady. So Leeds go with Mahady, Cresswell, Ferguson, Monteiro, Mullen, Moore, Chambers, Coleman, Render, Toulson and Chadwick. A bit of head tennis for Leeds and Palace at the start of this second half. So if the game follows the same pattern in the first 45, Leeds were under so much pressure for the first 10 or 15 minutes of the game. Then it became a lot more open, and you would feel that Palace will have to go pretty expansive to start this second half, put Leeds back under pressure. The Eagles carrying it out from the back. Good interception from Monteiro. Here now Chadwick gets out of trouble. Great reading of the game that from Reece Chadwick. On several occasions he looked like he's about to be tackled, and eventually got it back to Ian Coleman in possession, and Coleman pings it out towards the left for Ferguson. Nearly a good attack that as he gets back goal side. No free kick given. Chambers fighting for it. Toulson likewise. Chambers now carries it forward. Palace will have to watch out. Just the last little flick of a Palace leg put him off his stride. Ferguson from Mullen, and it's back with the Scotland Youth International. Mullen strides away, carries on. He's been watching Chambers in training, rolls it inside to Chadwick. Little flick around the side door to get away from the number 11 Agbinone. Here is Moore, and all the way back into Monteiro. But this is really nice to watch from Leeds. They are trying to find gaps. You often don't have to make the pass to see what an opposition's going to do. Sometimes you can just look at them, try and second guess them, and Leeds are doing that in this second half. Mahady's rushed his kick out, but the build up before that, really nice to watch at times, Ben.
Yeah, it was, really was. And you see Chambers starting on this left hand side. That's where he was when we got the goal, and what he does offers so well from that position, Tom, when he just cuts in on his strong right foot as well. It's real danger for the Crystal Palace defenders, they have to go engage. That hopefully leaves space for likes of Render, who's come on at half-time. But it's been a good start. Only 3 minutes into it, of course, but something to build upon.
He is, as Palace go from left to right. Good challenge from Toulson. Palace player suggesting, I think, he wanted a bit more sharpness to that pass. Ndolo Mustapha. Palace go with Moulden, Kporha, Grante, Rodney, Sheridan, Jemide, Umeh, Devenny, Marsh, Mustapha and Agbinone to start this second half, as Devenny, who scored twice against Leeds in the last meeting last season, pings it across. Chambers, he's working even harder defensively. Now Jeremiah Mullen can stretch the legs. And on he goes, up towards Render. No plan for Render to keep attacking. Wanted more help, he gets it from Ferguson. Ferguson keeps it alive just about. Whips it in, it's an easy bit of catching practice, and Jeremiah Mullen throws his arms in the air like a spoiled teenager. And I agree, Jeremiah. A centre-half should not be able to make that run with that finesse, then that power. And the left-back just passes it back to the keeper.
You're like, any chance? Come on now. Done all that hard work and blowing.
Toulson beaten by Devenny, who just glides away from him. It's good work from the league. Palace number 8 leads under pressure here. Agbinone puts it all the way across, but Mahady equally ready. You can see what the number 11 was trying to do, Ben, for Palace. Get it around the defence into Marsh. Very difficult to do.
Yeah, but again, look how solid we were. We had 3-4 white shirts along the 6-yard box. So only cross into the box. You'd fancy ourselves to be favourites. Thankfully, it was straight to the goalkeeper's hands.
Marsh going across, wanted someone at the far post to tap it in. There was nobody there. And there's a debrief here between Coleman, Mahady, a fair few others. Just shows you the standards that the players are setting. Yes, it was a half chance for Palace, but it was well wide in the end. But the way that the players are communicating, Ben, just shows you how fired up they are for this. Yeah,
again, similar to the first half when we were trying to play out from the back. Again, times we didn't get it right, and that's when we caused ourselves problems. Enabled Crystal Palace to have good field position, start high up the pitch with the ball. So it's important we get it right, because when we have got it right, we have progressed up the pitch.
Palace get the call from a throw. Leeds defensive, making Palace work for every pass there. None of them could have gone waywards because Leeds would have been ready to pounce. Work from Ferguson, positioning was perfect. Now into Chambers. Toulson gives him an awful lot to chase, but he's got confidence in his teammate, and that is why Chambers gets the legs opening up and gets into the box. Now, chance to cross, forced further wide, runs out of wriggle room. Double deflection, Palace claim, but Leeds get the corner, and Chambers is kick to the corner flag suggests that he's frustrated. And I'll be honest, when Toulson played that pass, I thought you're asking an awful lot, because he'd already had to get back to pass it to Toulson. How little do I know?
It's the speed, but the endurance to match it as well. Just the power of his running to get beyond the defender, and then have a little bit of quality to win the corner kick.
Chadwick signals to his teammates. Far post, a couple of white shirts, straight down the throat of the goalkeeper. Moulden gets his hands on the ball. And again, a good set piece though, puts pressure on the Palace back line. a risky pass from Moore into Chadwick, and Palace pounce and now running freely into attack. There's Mustapha going wide. Agbinone collects. Leeds have got plenty of white shirts behind the ball though, including Moore, who is suggesting when playing further forward that that was someone else's fault. Main thing is, regardless of whose problem that was to deal with, he went across there, did his job and protected them from a corner, but they have switched off. Leeds corner taken short. Chadwick rushes out and a miss-hit cross helps Leeds there. It will be a goal kick.
Yeah, and you're very delighted as a defender to see that outcome from the short corner that Crystal Palace did take. But yeah, again, it's the risk reward trying to play out from the back. A couple of times start the second half we have given it to Crystal Palace in dangerous situations, and you just feel if you keep giving those opportunities, sooner or later Crystal Palace will take one. So it's still sticking to your principles, but just getting the right option in your mind, knowing when you're receiving the pass, having a picture, knowing where you want to make the next movement, the next ball, and progress from there.
Referee not happy with Alfie Cresswell's starting position. Mahady caught flat-footed. Palace pounce. Leeds swarm around the referee. Actually aided Palace there. He has to stop it. That's the rules. That's the fair call from the ref. But that ball was actually going to Chadwick originally, which would have helped Leeds counter-attack quickly. Monteiro goes wide very early as well, out towards Cresswell. That is something Leeds can explore, is a wide pass to Cresswell, due to the fact he's a centre-half playing out of position. Leeds wanted a free kick, get one. It's one of those games, Ben, that you often do get at academy football level, where we haven't had a barrage of chances inside 10 minutes. There's a Leeds player down here, and there's a card being shown to a Palace man, and must have been an off-the-ball incident. Asher Agbinone has seemingly hit out and lashed out at Coleman, so he is yellow carded. But yeah, the point I was going to make was, you often see these games where you don't have a lot of chances because they're very evenly matched and there's good football trying to be played. 10 minutes goes very quickly, even though we might have only had 2 chances.
No, agreed. And the amount of games we've covered over the years, when we've seen plenty of goals, and yeah, it's great to watch, is that of course, but there's something about these games with 2 good teams really going at one another, 2 different formation styles going up against one another as well, and just the tactical battle, winning those individual duels as we mentioned. Really intriguing watches this.
Here's Toulson. Good ball needed from Palace, asking a lot. Mustapha there of Marsh. Mahady comes across and he's just making sure that everything's calmed down before he gets up to his feet. Good header from Coleman. Ferguson was just hoping that the bounce went in his favour. Sadly it didn't, and now Mullen's got a foot race. He's being pushed and shoved as he gets across. It's been the case all day. Mustapha's really manhandled him at times. That could have been a free kick as he goes for goal and he whips it in. And Jeremiah Mullen will look across and maybe feel a bit touch unfortunate. Some might say he should have been stronger. We can maybe dissect it with the replays. Whatever happened, Mustapha with a good finish into that far corner, and it is a level ball game, but it was looking slightly comfortable for Leeds, and all of a sudden Mustapha gets hold. 2 or 3 touches later, it's in the back of the net.
Yeah, agreed. It has come pretty much out of nothing, really. We seemed to control down this left-hand side, seemed to have the numbers, tried to clear his lines. We didn't quite do that. Then we still felt quite comfortable from a defensive point of view, but you have to say it's a clinical finish into the far corner, and all of a sudden it's level terms.
Render asking the referee if he's good to go, but still a lengthy enough delay, which suggests that the number 9 perhaps lost the shin pad. He's wanting a free kick, not given. In behind they go. Cut across, just hits the frame of the goal, perhaps even the side netting. Franco Umeh, just showing you how quickly Palace can turn it on. Nearly 2-1 with inside just 2 minutes.
And what we're trying to do now in terms of when we're playing it forward, we're forcing that pass. Crystal Palace are set up in good areas. The reading where we're trying to play now, it's important. Can you take that extra touch? There's nothing wrong by doing that. You're trying to be progressive with your play, trying to go forward at every opportunity, but if the pass isn't on, don't force it.
Yeah, shot's going to come in. It's the worst effort from that distance, but again, from Leeds' perspective, they'll be happy that that's happening that far away. You want Palace to get a little bit energetic and excited. And having a few pop shots at least eases the pressure on Leeds' defence. Throw into Leeds at 1 apiece. The coaching staff trying to give Chris Moore a couple of updates. Challenge from Chadwick, as brave as you like, gets off the deck, now tries to play the pass, does to Ferguson, renders in the middle. Ferguson's touch forced him a little wide. Here's Chambers. Back into Toulson. Toulson outnumbered, he would get a throw. I think Toulson perhaps suggesting that because of where he was played into the past, there was very little outgoings for him. He managed to at least not concede a free kick. And at least we know from the first half, Ben, as Palace line up 3 subs, that we can absorb pressure from Palace and have some joy. That isn't to say that that can't continue in the second half.
It become more difficult as this game goes on, as you all know, Tom. Tired bodies, tired minds, more mistakes creep in, especially your positional side, because I think tonight, out possession, our starting position's been so good. But as you do get tired, you do switch off that little bit more. And the danger is all to be seen as Crystal Palace are making a hat-trick of subs.
Yeah, so the first off is Rodney. He has been replaced. And he has been replaced by Umolu, who scored twice against Blackburn in Palace's first. There has been another replacement with Austin replacing Umeh. And Devenny is replaced by Nascimento. And Devenny is always a player that I've enjoyed watching at academy level. Carries the ball so well, powerful frame. Can see that why Palace have got a lot of patience with him as they hope to develop into a first team player. Free kick wanted by Palace, they'll get one. Monteiro slow to his feet to appeal his innocence. Referee isn't interested. Now the bigger boys of Palace can make their way forward, including Joe Sheridan. Delivered, easy enough catch for Mahady to gather. Bounced very nicely for him. And Toulson with a late arm in the air to let his teammate know he was open and free. That's good work from Ferguson. Pass to Toulson. They've worked it well here. Now the Leeds left back is on his way. It's a good ball in behind towards Rendy. He's going to get it. The keeper's had second thoughts and it nearly cost him. Louis Moulden came out of his box as if he was going to just claim that. And because he's planted his feet, Jacob Renda had a sniff at goal. And that's perhaps why he's poked it towards goal more than anything else. But the work from Conor Ferguson at left back, the way that he moved, opened up his body, got Toulson involved. It was Leeds United, and especially number 3 at his very best.
Oh, it's fantastic by Ferguson. Really was. Just like driving force, as you said, from left back. Great little through ball to Renda. So unfortunate with his finish.
Ferguson gets across, concedes a throw, but at least it keeps Palace out of possession for now with the ball at their feet. Mullen's got to be careful. So has Chadwick. Palace player getting his foot in the way. Toulson goes to ground and you get a free kick. Very important from Dan Toulson. Jeremiah Umolu, as I said earlier, scored 2 against Blackburn. Big, powerful forward. Nearly caused problems enough to give Palace a potential penalty shot, but Marsh up there guilty of giving away a free kick. No further signs of more subs for Leeds, but Vincent, Baird, Lopata-White and Pickles the option. And again, said it earlier, such a young group again for Scott Gardner, but a group that he's worked with. In large parts, a lot of 18s practically playing for the 21s. But what an experience, what learning they're going to get to play against a team like this. The game they've played, it's been a great watch. And with 25 minutes left, there's a game to be won. As Moore is fouled. And that came about because Chadwick decided to put some extra fizz on that pass, Ben. If he doesn't weight it, Chris Moore can only go backwards or he gets challenged. And we are looking at some of these fine margins, aren't we, when it's his first touch, like you just saw what Ferguson did. It could well be a little moment of brilliance that wins this match.
Yeah, I agree with that totally, because we've weathered a little storm really from when Crystal Palace got that equaliser. They're on top for the moments afterwards that, but we've grinded that little period out and then we're just starting to show a little bit more attacking sense, trying to get the ball up the pitch, progressive through the lines, playing in our style, trying to get the ball down, but again, got to do the right things in the right areas.
Chadwick have judged to have given away a free kick. You can see he's not very happy. Mullen caught out, Marsh coming forward. Umolu asking for a threaded through ball, doesn't get one. Mullen is back there to help out. Deflected clearance from him as a free kick going Leeds his way. And a bit of a switch in Palace's formation, Ben, with the centre forward to come on. So defensively now, it's a new challenge for the Leeds defence.
Certainly is a new challenge. You can see the physical attributes of the sub there leading the line for Crystal Palace now. So they might go a little bit more direct. So it's important you get your starting positions well off that.
Yeah, here's Cresswell. Floated ball in, it's not a bad one either. If you've had a second man in the box, it's perfect. Ferguson, oh, he's so unlucky, he gets the challenge, but Palace player gets the rub of the green and comes away with it. Chambers, he's been so effective tonight in what he's done. He might not touch the ball for 3 or 4 minutes, but when he does, it's something positive. That's an even more positive pass. Look at Ferguson in so much space across the box. Coming in is Cresswell. First touch sends him backwards. Leeds still, though, in possession. and pushing forward. Coleman to Mullen. Down the line to Chambers. Palace get away with it and come with looking pretty comfortable. And we got into that. It's like a very fast game of chess, this, with players flying in. Some good moves being made. Tactical moves having to be made here. That's a foul from Cresswell, but he had to make it because Leeds were stretched on that side. And again, just going forward, that last chance they had, the way they worked up the speed, the pass bent to Ferguson, who's becoming a very important member of this game because he's seemingly finding an awful lot of space, as is this man on the left-hand side, because Palace have got him behind. Leeds stretch once more. Now, Toulson's got to stand his ground. He does. It's deflected all the way, the frame of the goal, and Conor Ferguson, as cool as a cucumber, back to Rory Mahady. I can't guarantee my header would not have gone top bins.
That'd have been so unfortunate, so unlucky to concede a goal like that, and go behind. Got the numbers back just in time. All you want is that block from the shot. We got that, and then yeah, we got a little bit of fortune in the end, but we deserved it.
Yeah, here's Chambers. Chadwick can see what he wanted to do, can't execute it. Toulson perhaps got caught looking at the ball and the man in front of him. Chambers there, more than likely is going to take a yellow card for his team. And a second yellow card ensures that his night is over. I think the side to my right hand side from Ben suggests that he'll be thinking more to that element of common sense where you're saying that, do you believe that's a second yellow? Because the first one you thought was harsh when he put his foot out in front of the ball. The second, he sort of done it and perhaps maybe forgotten, or just thought, he won't send me off for this, I can get away with it. And a real frustration because everything he did tonight was positive. Sadly, it ends in a red card.
Look, I know we're biased towards our players, of course, but it goes for both sets of players and it goes for football up and down the country. If you're getting red cards for these two yellows that I've seen tonight, then honestly, Tom, the game has officially gone, because the first one never yellow, wasn't even trying to block the quick free kick, and then that one, he wasn't even trying to bring the player back. There was contact, of course, and you could see why it's been given a yellow, but if you're getting a red card for those two standalone ones, then honestly, I'm glad I'm sat next to you, Tom. I'm not out on a football pitch anymore.
Yeah, frustration as Rory Mahady has gone down. Referee is going to allow some treatment. I mean, I just hoped you'd like to spend time with me regardless, but
apart from that, yeah, I love you, really.
Yeah, apart from the immense atmosphere, playing in front of thousands, winning trophies. Yeah, disappointment that for Leeds. 20 minutes left. We now might have to have a tactical reshuffle, of course, being one of the better players on the pitch. And next man up sort of mantra, where you challenge another younger member of the group to step up. Big boost for Crystal Palace. And again, I know what you're saying, Ben. We are biased, and rightly so. We love covering this team. As a spectacle, if you had to put a neutral hat on as well, it's just a bit of a shame, isn't it? Because now it's going to be attack versus defence, you'd feel.
Yeah, and that's the way it's going to be. But again, it's another challenge thrown at the group. You can just see, well, both sets of players getting the instructions on, no doubt Crystal Palace will be saying, can you move the ball quick? Can you get it out wide? Can you stretch the defenders? From a Leeds perspective, Scott Gardner will be telling his troops, can we stay compact? Can we dig in? Can we help each other out? Show all the attributes we've shown with 11, even more difficult with 10, of course, but we've got the characters out there to dig his way out the final 20 minutes. But just a final one on Sam Chambers. I think the disappointment for myself, even for you, Tom, is that we've got 20 minutes less of seeing him play football, because he's been absolutely fantastic tonight. A real joy to watch. You can see his confidence by not only getting the goal in pre-season with the first team, he's been training a lot with them, learning off the senior players, learning off the senior management as well, and it's been great to watch him tonight. Really, really impressed us, and unfortunate to get that red card, but he should keep his head held high, because It's never a red, mate.
Yeah. If he needs to go, for anyone to go with him to his tribunal, can someone please let St James know Ben will be going as a passionate man knocking on the door if he wants to appeal, as Palace on the attack. Marsh with a wide pass out wide to the number 11 Agbinone. Floated ball in, flick on header for Leeds, takes it away from a Palace man at the back post. Sadly, because of that man advantage, they'll be queuing up as poked away by Render. Benone, Ferguson tries to show him around the outside. He floats the ball in. Cresswell will be very happy to see that the officials had spotted that had gone out. So about 16 and a half left. We'll get the subs and the red card minutes added on, so at least probably 3 minutes for now. Still no extra bodies on for Leeds. And again, it's one of those games we might speak about in a few months, Ben. What did Scott Gardner learn? What did we learn? What did the fans learn about this team when they have to battle adversity with 15 minutes left? These are your sort of experiences that you notch up on your belt to improve later down the line.
No, certainly are. Still a long way to go, of course. 15 plus stoppage.
Yeah, Mullen defends really well there, strides forward. He's had his ankles nibbled all night by that man in particular, Mustapha. He's still going with the ball. I'd argue, having watched his runs in the first half, he could easily be allowed to carry that on. Ferguson, Coleman, Chadwick, Toulson, they're all leading the charge, and Jeremiah Mullen is the one that gets carded for his protests and kicking the ball away. Yeah. Now I am confused. I can understand the fact that if the referee thought the first was a yellow for Chambers, the second he has to sort of follow the sending off. But I don't, not that I agree with it, but then I said earlier when Mustapha scored, there's a few times he has just pulled Mullen back or nudged him, which has just knocked him off balance, and some referees wouldn't have allowed it. This time he pulled him back, and he still hasn't got a card. Like, fair enough if you're going to book Mullen because you're not happy with his protest, but surely you go and find Mustapha and say, yeah, you still fouled him.
I actually think he's booked Mullen just for kicking the ball away, but he was dribbling with it. I don't want to talk about the referee anymore, mate.
Render gets in behind. Good chance as well. Keeper stood his ground, did very well. They'd lure Moulden because he could have fallen over there at the last second, and Render just showing bits of his ability as a lone sort of hybrid 9 and a part-time 10 now because there's no Chambers behind him. So Jacob Render wanted to run some extra yards tonight. He's just got his wish because he's going to have to do so. Monteiro flies out of defence and concedes a free kick, and the referee identifies the Leeds number 4 as Marsh gets to his feet. Leeds are sending several subs out to warm up, perhaps worried about a couple of these players getting a little bit frustrated. Chadwick gets away. Palace player having a nibble away to stop him. Free kick he's given.
All I would say is, I know we've had a few frustrating decisions go our way, but it's made the game a bit scrappy. Stop-start, bit of time getting off the clock as well, so it's playing straight into our hands.
It does. Towering frame of Ruben Lopata-White, who got a new contract in the summer. He's a centre-half that plays with real command of whichever side he marks. Carries the ball out of defence really well. He's going to replace Jeremiah Mullen, who was carded a few moments ago for kicking the ball away. this was a change that we perhaps thought was going to be made for 20 odd minutes when Mullen went down injured. Good to see that the young man got 77 minutes under his belt. And now it's just a switch around in defence. Chris Moore has gone to left centre back. And Ruben Lopata-White, the right centre half. The two flanking Diogo Monteiro. Good work from Chadwick. Has to go and strike it early. He does. Nearly killer instinct play from Reece Chadwick. That's the sort of mindset of a striker normally has. Yes, he's an attacking midfielder, Reece Chadwick, but the fact he knew once he turned him, he had to go. And I love the ambition, Ben.
Yeah, totally agree. And they're the sort of moments where you're hoping for. You go down to 10 men. Can you just get the ball forward into those kind of areas? Can you get ball into the box?
Number 15 carded, Jemide Umolu. A couple of Leeds players claps then at the referee. Not too much to suggest there was a hint of sarcasm in their play, but at least applauding the fairness of it. Lopata-White down the line. Overhit pass from him. Gives it straight back to Mullen in goal. Palace will come again from the right hand side of their defence. Ferguson with interception. Nice the challenge. We'll have to carry on fighting for this. We'll get punished for a handball. The ball was rolling if we're going to be pedantic, but Palace were told to go back by the referee, who at least spotted that the Eagles were trying to steal a yard or two. Ball delivered in, and Mahady, very thankfully on his goal line, just produced a simple catch. And you said it earlier about the stop-start scrappiness of it, Ben, and we said it earlier about any pop shots or ambitious crosses from Palace will take gratefully, as Cresswell tries to keep it alive. So what a piece. Goals either side of half-time. McFadden's penalty, Mustapha strike in the 58th minute, ensures that this game is level with 10 minutes left. Leeds, as it stands, are on their way to a third 1-1 draw in succession, but down to 10 men if you're just tuning in here on LUTV. So what is a tense final few moments. Here's Mustapha. Grante gets back to put the pressure on, and it is just going to be a throw-in. And that's the sort of work I mentioned earlier about Jacob Brenda. He came on for McFadden, which naturally tells you he's going to be a number 9 replacement. But he's going to have to run harder and harder than perhaps anybody else in the team for 10 minutes.
It certainly is, and really don't envy forward players in these situations, because you just spend half of the time, or majority of the time should I say, just doing doggies all over the pitch, trying to close down, but make a nuisance of yourself. Can you show in one way where you've got majority of the numbers behind you? There's a bit of strategy to it. You're just not running around just aimlessly. So yeah, look, there's going to be 10 plus more minutes, including stoppage, to go in this game, so still a long time for us to see this out. So it's important we do the right things. Sometimes we might have to go a bit longer, but can we do it from a position of strength in terms of a shape? Can we get bodies up the pitch? Can we just play it into corners, force Crystal Palace to turn the backs, force them come 90 yards plus to try and score a goal? So there's different ways to go about it.
Palace back in possession with Coleman Austin. Mustapha wide. Leeds, of course, have regressed a little bit into their own third of the pitch naturally. Low block because of the circumstances. Toulson racing back to try and get to it. Mahady, brave header from Lopata-White. So many Palace bodies. Shot's going to come in deflected, and Marsh heads it wide. It'll be a goal kick. It'll work in Leeds' favour, but it's the width of Palace. Any cross is being matched from the other side. So if Leeds naturally, but you just want to rest. When it comes over your head, you just think, oh, I can rest. Leeds, they can't for 7 minutes. There's Palace bodies everywhere.
Yeah, they are going to try and stretch us, but it's important we try and stay as compact as much as possible, and the ball does go over your head, go out to the far side, which he did on that occasion. We shuffled over as a unit so quick. We got the deflection on the shot, which is all you can ask for. You rely on a little bit of luck. Thankfully, didn't fall straight onto the head of the Crystal Palace attacker coming in for a simple header. Just flashed wide in the end.
Render couldn't keep hold. Defence than it is for the next 6 minutes of regulation, whatever stoppage time we're going to get. Here's Chadwick. Goes to ground. Leeds were arguing that that should have been a free kick. They're not going to get it. Leeds, I think, actually perhaps thought that it had been given. Chadwick asking the referee. Leeds can't afford to just try and win their own decisions. They've got to make sure they stay switched on. Cresswell's beaten around the outside. Now Coleman's coming across. Covers well. Very well. But the pass back to Lopata-White was a really poor ball. Palace are nearly in. Toulson gets across. And now Monteiro coming out of defence. It's into Render. He tries to shield it from a Palace player. Does so. And that's very effective from Jacob Render as he goes to Alfie Cresswell. But all he can do is kick it down the line and play for territory. And it's almost like we've switched into rugby union mode for kicks for touch. But
can we play 40-20s in football? Does that work? I hope it does tonight.
Yeah, frustration. There's Ferguson. Done well. Done very well up to Render. He's not the tallest, Jacob Render, but playing with some experience. Just misplaces the pass there. Floating ball in, headed away by Monteiro, who stood up well tonight. Render gets up. Palace's pass is backwards. It's just a little bit slow for the momentum. They want a bit more power in their passes. They've got 2 more subs lined up. Cardines and Joe Gibbard are getting ready for Palace. They're going to use their full allocation. Well, it goes to Agbinone. To the byline he goes, cuts it back. There's a header at the far post. Mahady was beaten. He flung himself across his goal, just desperately hoping something happened in his favour. What happened was Nascimento scuffed his lines. 3.5 to go.
Yeah, a couple more changes from Crystal Palace. They're throwing everything at this remaining few minutes left of the game, but you can have all the defensive capabilities as you want in terms of being solid, compact. The big thing that you do need on occasions is that little bit of luck. Go on that occasion, because 6 yards out, you're back Crystal Palace to find back of the net, but couldn't sort his feet out. Balloons it over the bar.
Yeah, so Mustapha is off for Gibbard. Big opportunity for Palace's subs to try and make a name for themselves last few minutes. Also coming off was Jake Grante. Cardines is on for him, so Palace have gone all out for the match, the victory. It's going to get another card here. Coleman's talked himself into trouble. Pivotal interception from Ferguson. Leeds are under pressure again. It's into Chadwick. Nice calm play from him. More into Coleman. Good feet needed. Ferguson's further wide if he wants to use him. King Coleman's a great carrier of the ball and he will do so. So that at least allows Leeds to get bodies in behind. Chadwick had made an ambitious run. Ferguson went for the pass down the line to render. And any Leeds fans nearby want to smash this ball into the River Ouse if they can. take some time, lads.
No nonsense Hilly tonight, isn't it?
Every single ball into the River Ouse. 1-1 please, ref.
I'm pretty sure the kit man's not going to be happy with you tonight.
Yeah, I'll deal with that later down the line. It's one apiece with a couple of minutes left. Ferguson played such a big part tonight, both attack and defence. Chadwick just went for the ambitious attempts. He's got into that sort of mode for Leeds. They can't really find the time to build something. They're outnumbered. Palace have the fresher legs. This is a battle to the very end as the ball is played forward. More. Toulson has to get across. Mahady always look to be under control. And well, Lopata-White and Monteiro are making runs away, and Leeds, rather than take more seconds off the clock, will at least try and play it. To Chadwick, who will actually seem to relish this challenge. Does always seem that the more uphill the battle is, Reece Chadwick comes more into the picture. He's been told to go back into midfield a bit further, a bit deeper, because he's replacing King Coleman and Pickles is replacing him. So Coleman is off, Pickles gets a couple of minutes. And that is probably our lot for tonight for Leeds United's bench. 6 minutes of stoppage time added. So we may get Vincent just to take seconds off the clock, but 6 minutes suddenly seems like a very long time as Agbinone gets past Ferguson, but he gets back the Leeds number 3 to hold his ground. Stand firm. Agbinone twisting, turning. Ferguson gets a deflection on the ball. It'll hang it up into the air, headed away. Body's got to get out. Floated effort away from trouble. And a nod of the head from Ben alongside me. We had to brace ourselves, Ben. Brace for impact as it sliced off his boot. Nod in a calm manner. And again, it'll take 40 seconds off the clock by the time this is taken.
Yeah, it will end. When the ball fell to the edge of the box, I think me and both of you just stopped breathing. Time stood still. Thankfully, it wasn't a great strike, but again, I thought Conor Ferguson's been great tonight. Great defensive kind of battling display from him, but then he's had the quality to go forward. But when you need him to defend 1v1 down the line, gets a little block on the cross. Shown great energy throughout this game as Conor Ferguson.
Ferguson again up towards Render, just a poor touch. So much space out there for the Eagles to try and attack Leeds' right side as Alfie Cresswell's gone across. Palace player goes to ground. Referee just checks the watch. 2 minutes have already gone of the stoppage time. Leeds just smash it clear and then get themselves back in position for another attack. Agbinone, Ferguson was in two minds at first whether to go pressurise him. Into Marsh, Agbinone wants it back. The trickster is trying to make something happen himself. Delivered in, good header away. Monteiro once again, it's out to the far post. Again, as we said earlier, Palace have got the advantage at the back stick. This time Chadwick gets up. Every single player for Leeds out there is doing whatever they can to get a foot, a toe, a head to the ball. But only again, Ferguson trying to stop him. Mahady gets across. And we've gone halfway through the stoppage time. And every time Agbinone flicks his leg around, and we lose sight of the ball with the tricks and the flicks. Thankfully, nobody in the defence of Leeds United is losing sight of it. There's a kick downfield from Rory Mahady. Leeds nearly for a second were about to pounce and counter-attack, but Cresswell told to get back in position. As everyone makes their way back over halfway, Ferguson caught out at first, flies in, screams at the linesman in frustration. He thought that was a throw-in. The body language of the Palace man suggests that he might have got that right as well. Sadly, officials do not agree, so Leeds have to roll up their sleeves and fight, as they have done all night. They're down to 10. They'll be disgruntled by that. Sheridan doubling up here. Palace out wide. Another ball in. Paul one. More heads it clear, but Leeds have got to stop it going from a corner. Ferguson tries to do that. Render's come back. Now playing left back, the number 9. Gets out of trouble once. Wins his team a goal kick. Very well done, young man, Jacob Render. And to some, when cheering for a goal kick is a little bit tin pot. Not here it is. I'm over the moon.
Yeah, again, Rory Mahady should take it to the other side. There we go. Shown good experience for his younger age as well. What an effort it has been tonight throughout, even when it was 11 v 11. A great football match to watch at this level, really was, really entertaining. Two very good teams. You have to say Crystal Palace have played their part in this game so far, and they're still going to be looking for this winner, but real good advert for under 21 football this tonight.
Still attacking here, Palace, striding out from the back. This could be the last effort for them. Headed away by Monteiro. Leeds appealing for a push, it won't be given. Marsh pokes it out, this shot will come in. And two defenders got in each other's way, and Nascimento was the one that put his foot through the ball last. And again, as you say, been out the playbook. Roy Mahady will make his way from left to right in his penalty area. This time it can't come back. Big effort though, so many players. Of course, we mentioned Chambers. Don't know if you can get a player of the match if you've been sent off. I don't know if that wipes out the points you've built in the bank. But I think Diogo Monteiro stood up really strong. Jeremiah Mullen, Conor Ferguson. There hasn't been really any player that hasn't been a solid across the board.
Yeah, you could name every single individual who stepped foot onto the pitch tonight, whether it's the subs coming on, the lads that have started. Everyone's contributed. Every single person has to put in this effort in tonight, and they should gain so much confidence from this performance and take it into the next game, the rest of the season. And there goes the full-time whistle, and a well-deserved point in the end.
Yeah, so 3 successive 1-1 draws for Leeds United 21s to start the season. Not ideal, but certainly very far from what could have been tonight, because they were under pressure. They've shown tremendous character. There's a young group, and picking up draws, picking up points week in, week out, Ben, learning about your team across international breaks. As Scott Gardner wants an explanation of that red card. You've got to come through adversity, and to do it with points, I don't think many people can complain.
No, not at all, and I think Scotty Gardner's every right to go up to the officials and just ask why certain decisions have been made, but leave that to one side. It's all about the players who've stepped foot onto the pitch tonight in a white shirt, because I think they've been absolutely brilliant in terms of defensively, shape-wise. They've dug in when they had to, blocks been made, but then they showed some really good football, some good link-up play. We get the penalty, well taken by Max McFadden, get the 1-0 ahead, but Crystal Palace are a good team, good outfit, get themselves back into the game, and yeah, with the red card, the final 20 minutes, we do have to dig in, but I think the performance overall against a very good outfit, who wouldn't surprise me or you, Tom, to be up there towards the end of the season. I think you can gain so much confidence from this going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. As the full-time whistle sounds, and so back in a few weeks after that international break, Leeds United drawing 1 apiece against Crystal Palace at the LNER Community Stadium. Thank you for tuning in.